The Supreme Court's temporary curbs on cracker sale during Diwali may have ensured a quieter festival for Delhi, but the capital still woke up to massive hikes in pollution levels. However, not at par with what they were last year, but yet still in the hazardous zone.
This Diwali was to be different for the national capital. The Supreme Court order banning sale of firecrackers promised a quieter, cleaner Diwali for Delhiites. A peaceful and promising evening soon went up in smoke. Morning dawned and Delhi woke up to a thick blanket of smog cloaking the city skyline. Real-time data of pollution levels in different parts of the city began trickling in, and they were alarming to say the least. A look at the data shows particulate matter 2.5 in Anand Vihar crossed very severe mark of 446 micrograms per cubic meter this morning. Mandir Marg was the most polluted with PM 2.5 touching 941. RK Puram in South Delhi recorded PM 2.5 as 784. The Shantipat area of South Central Delhi logged PM 2.5 of 939. But how bad was it when compared with last year? Data shows the city was less polluted than the gas chamber that Delhi had turned into last Diwali. Yesterday, particulate matter 2.5 in Delhi's air was recorded at 353 micrograms per cubic meter, 22% lesser than the 452 units logged on Diwali 2016. Today, PM 2.5 went up to 424 micrograms per cubic meter, but was 32% less than 624 registered the day after Diwali last year.
मैं समझता हूं कि एयर क्वालिटी पिछले साल के मुकाबले बहुत बेहतर हो गई है।
दिवाली के रात को और उसके बाद जो नेक्स्ट मॉर्निंग हुई उसमें ये वेरी पुअर से कुछ जगह पर सीवियर कैटेगरी में भी दिखाई दे रही है।
The Supreme Court had called its ban on sale of firecrackers an experiment, and evidence suggests the experiment has worked to a point. But it also means cracker ban is just one in the series of measures needed to fight pollution. The trickier question is, would cracker curbs be extended to cities like Chennai, which saw severe air pollution on Wednesday night when it celebrated Diwali? Bureau Report, India Today.
So even if we do a comparison, the particulate matter right now in the air in the national capital is much lesser than what it was last year in 2016 post-Diwali. However, it is still sadly in the hazardous zone. Joining me right now is Anandya Banerjee and Hemendra Sharma from Bhopal. Anandya is joining me from Delhi. We'll be joined later by other reporters from other cities. But Anandya, you know, right now it's a comparison that has been made that if you're in the national capital for about 6 hours, breathing this air that you and I are breathing, we're possibly smoking 24 cigarettes.
Well, Preeti, I'll begin by giving two statistics. A, that today morning there has been a huge rise as far as the two pollutants PM 2.5 and PM 10 are concerned. They rose to around 500 units, whereas the prescribed limit was around 100 units, which is severe. The second statistics I want to give, just a few hours back, Lancet came out with a study saying that in 2015, total global deaths due to pollution was more than the combined deaths due to tuberculosis, malaria, and AIDS together. So A, this is a global crisis, and B, this is a Indian subcontinent specific crisis, all the more in the national capital. Having said that, what the government is doing is the bigger question. Now the government is saying A, the Delhi government has already proposed a ban on diesel generators. B, the thermal power projects in Badarpur will be shut down. C, odd and even in all likelihood will be brought back in the first week of January, we are told, in 2018. And D, as far as crackers are concerned, the union government has ordered its scientists to work upon some crackers probably from next year onwards that can be implemented, those that won't pollute anymore. But be as it may, the bigger question is and the bigger problem is that crackers alone doesn't, contribute to the amount of pollution that we see in the national capital. Otherwise, by stubble burning or by, for that matter, construction of roads, construction of renovation works that has been taken throughout the day, because the dusts are involved. So those things needs to be taken care of, and those things have not been taken care of. Stubble burning is a political issue in Punjab and Haryana. Both the state governments failed to, walk towards that, to oblige the NGT. So these are very key areas. Until unless we take that holistic approach, pollution is something that will continue to trouble us, and we, the Delhiites, will continue to gasp for clean breath, clean air.
All right, Anandya, stay with me. So Anandya Banerjee, my colleague, getting us the latest figures right now from the national capital, still in the severe to hazardous zone. Hemendra Sharma joins us from Bhopal. Hemendra, back here in Delhi, the worst air probably that anybody is going to be breathing in India. But what's the situation in Bhopal post Diwali?
Well, the situation in Bhopal is quite different. In fact, the pollution levels a day after Diwali were much lower in Bhopal than what they were the last year. In fact, according to the Pollution Control Bureau, there has been a considerable improvement as far as pollution levels are concerned, and the air is pretty much clean. And this has happened because of restraint by the citizens of Bhopal. In fact, the government of Madhya Pradesh, in fact, the Home Minister had actually ridiculed the Supreme Court order that banned firecrackers in the national capital and national capital region by tweeting and saying that Delhiites are welcome in Bhopal, and in Madhya Pradesh they can burst crackers over here. So they were in a way actually encouraging people to burst crackers and giving some sort of a communal twist to it. But the citizens of Bhopal, they exercised restraint, voluntary steps were taken, and as a result it was visible last night as well that the amount of firecrackers that were bursted were much lower than that were actually bursted last year. So as a result, we have had much cleaner air, and the results are there in the Pollution Control Board data that has been released today. In fact, the Pollution Control Board, they took samples from 7 places, and these included the 2 industrial areas of Bhopal as well. And surprisingly, the pollution levels were within limits in all the 7 areas, and also much lower than what they were last year.
Heartening to note, Hemendra, because then it seems that active citizenship actually makes all the difference. So even though there was a ban in Delhi, there must have been, citizen partnership to try not to burst crackers as they did last year. So somewhere down the line, even in the national capital, if you compare figures, it's much lesser than last year. So it's responsible citizenship which seems to matter most. Like Hemendra was pointing out, good news coming in from Bhopal there. But let's cut across to Pune. Pankaj Khelkar joins us. Pankaj, what are the figures there?
Preeti, the figures over here are alarming. Although the rise in pollution level on the day of Diwali was tremendous, it was alarming, with 17,000 to 40,000 particulate matter of 2.5. That is completely alarming. But the second point that has to be considered, why am I wearing such a mask? Because the pollution level in daytime also is above 500, and that are the figures that we have got from this Chess Research Foundation. They have those equipment that monitor the air pollution at the breathing level. Breathing level means where we are standing is the breathing level. The government monitors, they are fitted above 25 feet. So whatever they are monitoring, that is around 325 or 400, and that's why they are saying that the air pollution is going worse, it is going bad. But the actual figure at the breathing level are somewhere between 600 to 1,000, and that is why it's alarming, not only in Pune but in other urban cities also, because crackers is one of the reason and it is alarming. But apart from that, there are so many elements like exhaust from the vehicles and other burning issues also that need to be addressed, and government should take some urgent steps, and that is the reason I am wearing mask and other need to wear mask. But the chalta hai attitude about from the people as well as from the government that nothing happens. Right. But with 600 PM mark, whatever we are inhaling, it is very dangerous, and at a long run it is going to cause harm to our lungs.
All right, so clearly a pall of toxic haze enveloping all the metros, especially the national capital. Want to take a quick question from Anandya once. Anandya, what does it look like in Delhi? Because, all right, we don't have Anand there anymore, but let me go across to Mumbai right now. We have Vidya joining us live. Vidya, what are the levels in Mumbai?
Well, it certainly is not as good as it used to be earlier. It's worse than, earlier. What we had seen is, if I can just show you the, the readings here, it says 319, which is the air quality index of Mumbai. But if I take you to, places like Malad, it's certainly gone into the severe, and it is a residential area. Malad is one of the suburbs of Mumbai, which is almost on the severe side, which can actually compete with Delhi. It's one of the worst hit pollution-wise, one of the worst hit areas in Mumbai. Although other areas like Bhandup or, for example, Kolaba, where there is a lot of greenery, there is a lot of sea wind which comes across immediately into these localities, there, it's not as bad. But certainly places like Malad, Borivali, Andheri, even where I am located right now, it's certainly quite bad, where people do have to resort to wearing masks. In fact, I've spoken to quite a few doctors and they have said that there has been an increase of almost 40 to 50% of the number of patients coming in today, complaining about, sore throats, complaining about headache, complaining about, viral infections getting much more spread and rampant because of pollution which is prevalent in Mumbai right now.
All right, Vidya, thank you for joining us. Also, all our reporters have been getting us the very latest. Anandya, Hemendra, Pankaj and Vidya. Well, this is what the skylines across metros today look like. A pall of toxic haze cloaking entire cities there. And there's no one to blame but yourself, because it is active citizenship which could actually help in toxic levels being reduced, especially where Diwali comes into question. We're going to go across and listen in right now to the former Chief Minister of Delhi, Sheila Dikshit, talking about the toxic smog.
ये केवल लगता है आज के माहौल को देखते हुए, जो मॉर्निंग में आपने कहा कि एकदम छाया हुआ था, जैसे पूरा एक तरह से मिट्टी मिट्टी दिखाई दे रही थी। तो जब मिट्टी मिट्टी दिखाई दे रही है और एटमॉस्फेयर इतना ख़राब है, तो केवल एक पटाखे बंद करने से काम नहीं चलेगा। तो कोई ना कोई यदि बहाना निकला रहे तो दिल्ली के लोग तो वैसे ही परेशान हो जाएंगे और बीमार हो जाएंगे। तो इस पर लॉन्ग टर्म करना चाहिए, और मैं तो यही कह सकती हूँ, रिक्वेस्ट कर सकती हूँ कि एक्सपर्ट एडवाइस लीजिएगा इस पर।